In today's Leeds news, Leeds weekend results, season ticket renewal update, Calhanoglu linked with Leeds, Victor Gyokeres latest, this week's loan watch, Angus Kinnear points finger at fans for high expectations. Morning, folks. Monday morning on the 27th of February, and a good weekend, I think we can say, for everybody. Huge progress made in the game against Southampton, which is great to see. I'm not going to hang around today. There's not much news. There's small little bits and pieces. So we'll fly through them, make a short video today and get in and out. And we'll just start off with the weekend's results. And it was a Southampton triple header this weekend with the first team, under 21s, and the ladies all playing Southampton. And delighted to say that it was a clean sweep for the three teams as well. Under 21 beating Southampton 2-1, along with the Leeds ladies beating Southampton 2-0, and obviously our first team winning 1-0 on Saturday, which is great to see. Moving on, season ticket renewals. Adam Pope has been given some update on the season ticket renewals for those who are interested. Adam has said that season ticket renewals will be in March this year, which is slightly later than normal. That's due to the season shifting because of the World Cup. But no decision has been made by the board yet in terms of the pricing for season tickets. So keep an eye on that. If you're looking for it, it should be out in a couple of weeks. There you go. Moving on, incoming stuff. And Calhanoglu, I can't say his name, but it's close enough, from Inter Milan. According to Yes, the publication, they say that Leeds and Southampton, along with a couple of other Premier League clubs, are very interested in the Inter Milan player. He has 3 goals and 6 assists in 30 games so far this season, and his contract runs out at the end of June in 2024. The fee for the player is rumored to be in and around 22 million if Leeds were to make a move in the summer. It's an interesting move. Should Leeds go for it? But it's rumor at this stage, and there's lots of clubs interested in it. But thought I'd let you know. So there you go. Moving on, Victor Gyokeres, or Gyokeres, or whatever way you want to pronounce it, has been linked with Leeds pretty heavily over the last year. Last week, there was rumor that Leeds would make a move for him again, but Dean Jones from Give Me Sport has come out today, and basically what he is saying is Leeds are unlikely to make a move for Gyokeres. He said that he does admit things can change, but what he says is Gyokeres is rated in around £25 million. And what he said was, let's see what league they end up in, because things may change. But yeah, from what I've heard, they do have some reservations about him joining right now. That all depends on the divisions, obviously the fee and all that kind of stuff as well. But what they also didn't say was they Leeds have players like Willie Gnonto, Georgina Rutter, and Sonny Perkins, and bringing a player like Gyokeres in is a very similar player to them. Might actually, stop them progressing to where Leeds think that they can. We've heard this before, though. Let's move on. Flying through this. Loan watch. We'll just rattle through this really quick. Lewis Bate played again for Oxford in a 3-0 defeat to Bristol Rovers. Not a great time for Oxford at the moment. Lost the manager, and Lewis Bate will have to adapt to a brand new manager coming in this week. He's been excellent for Oxford, so don't see an issue there at all. Dan James, his 5th consecutive game as an unused sub for Fulham in their draw with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Interesting to see, with Leeds now playing some extra width, do Leeds look at bringing Dan James back in? I don't know. End product is always the question mark. We've talked about with Jackie as well, and Dan as well. So it's interesting to see what Leeds now playing without net wingers. Is there an option for Dan James to come back to Leeds? He's not playing at Fulham. He's not in the manager's plans. He will probably come back at the end of the season. So it's unfortunate for Dan. Joe Gallagher, no goal this week, but did play again in a 2-1 defeat against Coventry. Charlie Creswell continues to his impressive form with another 90 minutes under his belt and a 1-0 win over Stoke. Jamie Shackleton also impressed in that game as well. And Shacks has had a really, really good time over the last couple of games for Millwall, and is really starting to find his feet in the centre of the park for them, which is great to see. He did start the season off in the fullback area, but back into the centre of the park where it's natural position. Helder Costa started against Al Riyadh and has 2 goals in 14 games so far for them. He's expected to stay there at the end of the season, but we'll have to wait and see. Cody Drama's first start in 3 games, had a small injury. Luton did win against Birmingham, so good for Cody to come back in and get some minutes there. Leo Hjelde back in the starting lineup for Rotherham in a 2-1 win over Sunderland, so good for Leo as well. Alfie McCalmont is back in action as well, with a 5-2 win over Crawley Town for him, which is good to see. Ian Pavetta played 67 minutes for Blackpool. Unfortunately, they lost this weekend, but Pavetta back in the starting lineup again, continues to do well there. And Stuart McKinstry gets his 3rd straight start in a row after being out of the Motherwell team for a little bit, but he's now back in. So all good news from the guys out on loan. Good stuff. And let's move on to this is more of a main story, more of a kind of a, in case you missed it kind of piece. Angus Kinnear was talking in the programme notes about the Leeds manager hunt, and I'm always wary about Angus's ability to point the finger, blame other people. But what he's done here is in this week, basically, this weekend was a huge positive for the club. There's no getting away from that. It's a positive move. Garcia's doing really well so far. Players have adapted really well, and everything is good going forward. But Angus couldn't help himself to have a little point at the fans, and pretty much has blamed us for setting our expectations too high in relation to the manager search. So what he has said is there was a definite mismatch between the profile of candidate that some sections of the fan base and media perceived would be willing to join Leeds and the reality. We fully understand the frustration level supporters felt during the process, but the reality is the appointments normally take 1 to 2 weeks, so being at the longer end of the range is not unreasonable. So basically what he's saying is it's our fault for getting our expectations too high about managers that we thought would come in. Nothing to do with Radrazani's tweet about a white smoke within 24 hours or a manager appointment by the end of the week and all the leaks that came out and Alfred Schroeder popping up at Elland Road and by all intents and purposes, but listen to anybody who knows anything about Leeds saying the same thing. Schroeder was expected to be announced as the Leeds manager. So I don't like this stuff. It's unnecessary, and the club can really do themselves a favour by not getting involved in this. Said it yesterday about Victor Orta's antics in the box again yesterday. Just all I want is them is to be better and be more professional, and just we don't need any drama around our ownership or our directors. We just need them to just do their job properly, and that's all we need. They won't get stick off us if they do their job properly, and they don't have to give us any stick if they do their job properly. So it's a win-win. But anyway, look, that's what's there. And some news for this week. I'm delighted to say tomorrow I will be doing an interview with Brian McDermott about his time at Leeds and other stuff that he's involved in now since leaving Leeds. He's a good guy. Spoke to him during the week. Delighted to get a chance to speak to him. Brian McDermott was one of my favorite managers during a bad time for Leeds. I always thought he was a very likable guy, and I'm delighted to say Brian will be doing an interview tomorrow morning with us in the channel. It's first thing tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning. I'll be doing the interview. The video will go up later in the week. But if you have any questions that you want to ask Brian around his time at Leeds or what he's up to, please feel free to drop them into the comments here, and I will do my best to try and get all those questions together and ask him as many as I can. So it won't be a hugely long interview. I don't like keeping people too long, but probably about 10, 11, 12 minutes, but that'll be bonus content for later in the week. So that's it for me today, folks. Thanks as always for watching and supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. Have a great day. Have a fantastic week. And hopefully I will see you back here tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. See you then.